Well, we're back again. I say it every time. Together We Rise podcast. We got an amazing guest today, a legend, a business mogul in the Bay Area. And, I mean, he's moved other places. This guy has done, I mean, things that only people dream of, I feel like, in the business world. He's a staple, a culture shifter. He's done a lot. Abdullah Hasani, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Woo!
Right?
What an intro. Let's go. I love you, dog. Yeah, you speak very highly of me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
I mean, it's a blessing to get you out here. We're glad that you're in town, man.
Yeah, that worked out perfectly. Yeah.
We started a list of people we wanted on this show, and obviously you being, a friend, a brother of mine, I hold you in high regard for 20 years, man. But James, have you guys met before?
We never. I don't think we ever met before. We might have, but we know a lot of the same people.
I definitely know of you.
Yeah.
For sure,
And your name's popped up a bunch of times, like throughout the years. So when we were putting the list together, like Blaine said, we were just thinking about, okay, who's killed the game in the Bay Area, like who are entrepreneurs, who are people that are awesome at branding and just any, all these different things. So I was like, why not,
appreciate you guys.
get the guy
It was a no-brainer on the list, right?
Yeah,
Abdullah,
really
for sure.
Appreciate you guys. Business is crazy. It's a long-ass journey, so like you never really know how it's gonna go. But for me, I was always like super into it. So to me, it almost came naturally,
right?
Just to just work.
So from that, like, where did your business mindset and we'll start to name off the things you've done,
all the failures,
but because it got you to where you are now,
Yep.
But like, what was that like your early childhood and things that happened in your life that made you start being who you are now?
It's funny you asked that. I had a friend named Chris in third grade. This dude would collect coins, and he would always pull up to school with different coins. I was always like, bro, you're so weird. You have coins. like collect something cool,
Right.
But my family and I, we went to a farmer's market, a flea market actually in Concord. I don't know if you guys ever been to that one.
Yeah. The
We
drive-in.
would go all the time at the drive-in, And we were there, and I seen this dude had how they had the tarps out. And they got hella random
Stuff,
shit.
yeah, all the time.
Dude had a little jar of coins, and I was like, oh, that's dope. And he was selling each coin for like $1. I was like, bro, this is a lot of money. So I looked in there, and I saw this really cool Aztec coin. I was like, oh, I'm going to give this to him. And then I bought it from the dude for $1. And then I got it for him as like a present. And then I gave it to him, and he thanked me. He loved it. He put it in his backpack, and then he was rummaging in there, and he pulled out $3. I was like, what's this? He's like, oh, to pay you for it. And I was sitting there, I was like, wait, I paid $1 for this. You're giving me $3 for this? Like, what the fuck? And that's when it clicked. I was like, oh shit, business. It was third grade. That was like my wake up call. But like, that's really what intrigued me. But from there, I was like, I really want to just work. Like, how do I get work? And seventh grade, I was a paper boy.
Third grade.
I just loved it. I mean, we grew up really poor.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right? But like, we grew up on Section 8. So for me, I was like, I want to find something like a way to make money where I don't have to worry about my parents.
Right.
Like, I don't want to ask my dad for no money. I want to get it myself. So for me, I was like, let's get money. So seventh grade, I became a paper boy for 3 months during summer. That shit was crazy. I do not recommend it to nobody. It was such hard work.
Where were you at? What area?
Off of Monument Boulevard, the trees, mobile homes.
I
was a paper boy.
I had a bulletproof vest on, and I was throwing papers.
But the cool thing was, out of, I think it was 73 mobile homes in that park, like 55 of them were seniors.
Okay.
And they love newspapers.
Yeah. Oh, right.
And like they all wait at like 5:30 outside of their porch for their newspaper. So I was like legit, like going there, putting the papers together, delivering like 73 of them every morning. I did it for 3 months during summer. I was like, this sucks. It paid $250 a month. But to me, I was like, I want to buy a bicycle. That was like my dream. I was like, I want to buy a bike. And then so I bought that, but I was sitting there, I was like, that was not worth it.
Yeah,
like the bike was like 300 or something. So I was sitting there, I was like, that's like a month and a half of work.
Right.
This doesn't work.
Right.
But that was seventh grade, and in high school, I was selling clothes out the trunk of my car. And my boy, his dad had a clothing store in the mall, and he was like, hey, we got hella stuff we can't sell. Can you buy it off us for like wholesale? I was like, all right, let me see what they look like. He pulls up. He had 3 big-ass trash bags, and it was all like those Pro Club tall tee graphics with like Bugs Bunny.
In his high school? His high school? Those are flying off the shelf.
I'm like, bet, bro. But the dude was trying to flip it for like $10 a shirt, and like they were selling it for like 45.
Is that lot 29? Or lot
Shirtique, bro.
Okay.
I remember Shirtique.
Yeah, Shirtique. Yeah. Shirtique was
anything
lit.
they sold, that's what pretty much was my supplier. That was my dealer. Whatever they didn't sell, so it was like literally like
give me that for the low.
Like Lola Bunny with a grill,
like SpongeBob. Yeah,
literally. So I started copping these and I started selling it to people. But that's where I started really seeing money. Like the dude really wanted to sell it to me for like $10 a shirt. I was like, nah, I'll get that whole bag off you for $100.
Right.
That was probably like $600-700 worth of shirts if it was at that price. So he agreed to it just because like that. I think it was sitting on the shelves for like a year plus. You could see some lint on it. You know, what I mean? You're like, this has been sitting around for hella long, bro. You can't sell this.
It's vintage.
Like old people had the throwback.
Vintage, bro.
With the tag.
Yeah.
So that really just took it to the next level. But that's kind of like where the passion for business kind of started for me.
Dope.
So
I was like in high school-ish. Okay, so after high school, then what? Did you go to college, or what happened after high school?
In high school, I started promoting for teen clubs. I used to love going out. I used to love socializing. I was always at every house party. I got a story for you later where you hated on me tough at a party. We don't have to wait on that one, but I'm going to talk.
I was hoping that came up because I remember that day. I remember I had just kicked the cops out of the house. And Abdullah was pulling up the door like, yo, I'm coming in. I was like, dude, I can't let anybody in right now. The cops are going to shut this shit down.
You were being hella cool too, but I was like, Blaine, I'm with like 89 people.
Literally. Like, it was at my house too.
Yeah, I remember. By Arbo.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, dude, the cops just left and they're saying that I'm either going to jail or kick everybody out.
Yeah,
like,
I
bro,
felt so bad for you. Yeah, I was like, but we left.
You left.
I was like, I don't want to be like too problematic, but that's what we would do. I would like legit. I was the first dude in my group that had a cell phone. So my group, it was my boy Tarek, Eddie, Mabu.
Yeah.
We called ourselves the team, and we're like, let's go to every house party we could.
Right.
So we started making friends at hella different schools, and I was the only one with the cell phone, so people would call my phone and they'd be like, hey, we're about to meet up, so and so, and so I just became like this party promoter, like by accident, and it worked out, but. Fast forward to college, I went to San Jose State. I went to DBC, met hella people. I was promoting a lot of clubs at that time.
Fellow Spartan.
Hell yeah,
let's go.
I was DU. Were you in Greek?
No, I didn't Greek.
I did it for the
Greek.
bitches, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
During that time, actually, through my fraternity, we actually threw a nonprofit event, but it was like one of my events.
Right.
It was like a club event, and it was to support lupus. And from there, I realized the scale that I did that party was the biggest that I had done at the time. And I was like, man, maybe I should take this really serious. And so I started Franchise Entertainment. It lasted about 5 years. It was a good run, but we did 21 and up clubs. We did 18 and up clubs. We even got into like high school stuff, proms, homecomings. That shit made money.
Right.
Like all I did was, I was a project manager for it. I was really just setting it up.
Yeah.
We had some partners, but we really built something good. But I did that for like 5 years. And after 5 years, I did an event at the Martinez Memorial Center. It's a community center or whatever. Anyways, it was a ghetto ass club. Yeah. There was like a shooting outside and somebody shot the DA office, the glass in front, and it shattered the glass. I'm like, fuck, bro, shoot anywhere. Right. It's one big piece of glass, bro.
That just happens to be the DA.
The DA of Contra Costa County, right?
It couldn't have been the Goodwill. It had to be the DA's office.
The DA, bro. Anywhere, bro. Even that trap house 2 blocks over.
They probably deserve it.
No, nah. But after that, I was like, all right, this is kind of sketch. Like, maybe I shouldn't do this. I did one more event. It was at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. And this event had like, the capacity of the venue was like 6,000 people. I had 3,000 people in there. It was half filled. God. It was huge. I had like 19 Bay rappers perform. Like, you name it. Like, if you name some names, I'd be like, they were probably there.
Right, yeah.
But there was a fight that started. And then because of the fight, somebody went to the coat check and stole a purse. But the purse had like social security cards. It had like passports, car keys. So like whoever lost that purse, like their mom started calling me. It was like, yo, this my daughter took my purse.
Yeah.
And she lost it at your club. And I was like, fuck, this sucks. And I was like, I don't want to face no felony. So I just dipped out the game. But I had saved enough money that I was like, all right, I could do something with this. Yeah. But that's kind of what took me through all those years.
Okay.
Dope.
Okay.
Dope.
So from there, then you got into Urban Cuts? How did that happen?
Yeah. I used to work for the Department of Defense, so I would travel to Kansas and Barstow near Vegas quite often when I was in San Jose. I would go on the weekends. I'd work in Missouri, and then I'd come back to school Monday through Thursday. And I was a cultural advisor, and from there I was stacking up some good money, and I was just working hella much. But from there, I had some money, and I was back home getting my hair cut by one of my good friends, and I was like, damn, I hate paying you for haircuts, bro. I hate exchanging cash. Like, it's hell of annoying. Like, can I pay you once a month? And we started bartering hella shit. Like, I was like, well, get me into your club.
Yeah,
like,
get a free cut.
And I was like, all right, yeah, it sounds good. And then one day I was like, we should open a barbershop up. Because he was miserable at the store he was at. Like, he was super miserable. And I was like, all right, let's do it, bet. Fast forward like 7 months, the barbershop is like 80% complete. Like, we bought the chairs, everything was opening. Dude backs out. And I'm not a barber. I'm just a business.
Right. Is this the one? Was it the one on Contra Costa?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Right by the freeway, right there by the mall. Yeah. Right. Scrounged around, got some barbers together. On the first day we opened, I had 0 employees. The night before, actually, I was a high school basketball coach for YV at the time.
Yeah.
I did it for 7 years. I was on my way to a game, and I get a phone call, and dude was like, "Hey, I saw your Craigslist ad. Me and all the barbers in my shop just left. Like, we don't want to work here no more. We're willing to work." I was like, "Bro, my grand opening is tomorrow." You're like, "I'm giving out free lineups. Like, I need barbers."
Yeah. So you're saying you have 10 people? Like, come
He
on.
legit had a whole shop with him. I was like, "Bet, come through, bro." He came with like a bunch of stragglers, bro. But it's all
Yeah,
good.
but hey, we need something.
Yo,
Yeah.
the lineups
Hands
were
on
looking.
deck.
The
Hands on
lineups, the free lineups was looking toe up.
I'm talking about everybody was burnt, bro. Them T-liners were crispy, bro. They're burning everybody. But that was the first day I opened my barbershop. Like, we really had no idea what we were doing. I was 20 years old when we
That's
started.
your first time with overhead, employees, all that?
All that. It was like a real business, and I didn't really know how to deal with employees because I was never in corporate America. I never worked, so for me, I had to like kind of pick all that up on its own. But you learn, right?
Yeah.
Through time. I did it for about 5 years before we sold that first barbershop, but over time, we started to get our staffing right. We started poaching some barbers from different barbershops. We put together a good team, and my whole thing was my barbershop, I really wanted it to be different than everything else. At the time, there were 6 barbershops in the city of Concord, and they're like, there's no way you're going to, 1, find the resources. Like, how are you going to find 6 to 7 barbers to put in a barbershop?
Right.
2, how are you going to take clients? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Concord has 130,000 people. Half the people are bald or cut their own hair. The other half get cut between 6 men's barbershops and 13 salons. I don't think so. Like, there's something missing here.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 12 years now, we have a barber college with 50 students.
Right.
And I think 32 barbershops in the city of Concord now. 32.
There's 30. Wait, so you guys are
Just in general, there's
In general,
32.
not me. I'm just saying, like, the industry's grown
Right,
that
it's
much
grown, yeah,
because
it's grown.
the people in 2008 when we were getting into it, they're like, we're maxed out. We can't do this. When I was opening the barbershop, I got death threats. People were like, we don't need a barbershop here. Don't open. The game was a little ghetto back then. I mean, it still is. Shout out to all my barbers out there.
Yeah,
But like, they will fuck you up. Like,
Yeah.
like they get down. I always tell people I'm the fucking Paul Pierce of barbering. I'm goated, but nobody likes me. Like, they hated me. I was 20 years old trying to do something that was like not really done. But we opened the doors. Things worked out. We had a pretty unique concept where we had a barbershop with 6 chairs. In the back, we had a full music studio. Omar Kadir ran it. Shout out to him. That was one of my first business partners. And then in the front, we were just, because I had the clothing connect.
And so you still had the bags in the trunk.
Yeah, bro.
The Bugs Bunny tees.
legit. We just transferred over, but at that point, we went legit.
Yeah.
Like, I went to every clothing convention for like 3 years in Vegas, LA, wherever it was, to party, but also to like make connects out there.
Of course.
We were the first clothing store to carry BBC in Northern California, Pharrell's brand.
Yep.
Nobody carried that shit. We had like the $500 like coats. Like,
No, I was gonna say, I think I got the zip up with all the diamonds from there.
oh, look at that, bro.
See?
That's crazy, bro. I love you, man. Thanks for the support, bro.
Always supporting.
We ripped you off. I'm just kidding, bro. No, that game is cold, bro. I always tell people with clothing companies, I'm like, how do you win? Like, it's really hard to win.
Right, yeah.
It's good money if you do it right, if you could scale it. But we also got Pink Dolphin. We were the first clothing store
Shout out
to sell
Cena.
them. Yeah, Cena, all those guys. Shout out to you guys. Young Al too. Before I think he left.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they're still in good graces, but I'm
Okay,
not sure.
cool. Yeah. I just remember like that was like the connect we had. But yeah, so we started carrying these cool little brands, and it really helped us build this unique look. And we were really just a hip hop barbershop. There was none of that around.
That
we were
was
young, aggressive.
great branding.
Pot was being smoked outside,
Yeah.
and we ran with it, bro. We said, this is what it
Part of
is.
the culture,
This is a safe space.
Yeah, safe
for you.
space, right? Yeah. And so we just ran with it. I mean, nothing, like nobody was pulling up with guns. It wasn't
Right.
ghetto like that.
Yeah.
People weren't smoking in the shop, but like it was a hip hop oriented, sports themed male
It was-
barbershop.
it was
what
urban.
it was. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was urban cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we put a pretty dope team together. In the first 4 years we had our barbershop. 6 of my barbers left and opened up their own barbershops. That's the kind of, I'm not gonna say we did it like oh, look at the inspiration we're giving, but like low key people were like, man, if he can do it,
Right.
I'm gonna go do it.
Right,
So in my
right.
head, I'm like, cool, we're uplifting the world here.
Right.
Like everyone's doing better.
That's what somebody who is groundbreaking does, right? You create top tier people, and that's kind of like the culture that we have here. Like anybody that becomes bigger than this and wants to go do their own thing, go do it because you've outgrown the situation. Like, why would you hold anybody back like that? So kudos to you, man, for creating that and getting these
It's natural
people.
too when you're a trailblazer, and sometimes you don't get the flowers that you deserve as a trailblazer, but you know, you just do it and
All peers.
All peers.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you just do it, but that's what's up. And you know, you started something different or cutting edge.
Ooh. He took it there. He took it there. That's funny.
I have that one written down.
Yeah, right. Pay your people. Yeah, but it's been a blessing. It's just been a crazy journey. Just to get through the barber stuff. I had it for about 10 years. It was a long run. We went
That
from
first shop?
The first shop was about 6 years.
6 years.
And then after 6 years, it was so difficult to solely focus on that. We had at that point 4 other places. So we're like, we could hand this off to our barbers. Like 2 of my barbers wanted to buy it, and then another person actually ended up buying it. So like, it didn't end up with a great story.
Right.
That barbershop.
Right.
But like for us, it was a fat win. Like it was a spring for us to get to where we needed to get.
Right.
Like to see all the barbers grow from that spot to where they're at now. I could probably count like 10 or 11 that have opened up their own barbershops that work for me. That's a blessing, bro.
That's
One
crazy.
dude had like 9 shops in San Diego.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Who does that?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
But that inspired the bigger picture. I was like, I'll be honest, these barbers I'm bringing in, the resources we have for our company, they're not good resources. How do we make better resources? How do we create an industry where there's more opportunity to bring in talent? So we said the barber school. That's the only viable option. There was nothing in the East Bay. It wasn't a passion thing. It was like a logical need thing. Like, all right, this is the Bay Area, this map right here. There's one barber school here, one down here, and there's nothing for this massive demographic of people that need it and want it.
Because everybody was going to like
hella far.
like,
SF, Oakland. Yeah.
like Sheldon talked about when he got his, it was in Oakland.
And you had to know somebody like he knew.
You get to get in.
It was like weird ass shit. Like people were waiting 9 months. You pay $10K out of pocket.
Yeah.
You get in. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
So you basically created a bunch of competition for yourself through your barbershop, and then you created a business that
fed all of them, bro.
Yeah.
You go to any barbershop in Walnut Creek, Concord, Martinez, bro. There's
came.
at least 1, 2, or 5 barbers in there
came
that
from-
went through my barbershop or barber schools.
Urban Barber College.
Not even a cocky thing. It's just like, wow, that imprint was fucking huge.
That's the
bro.
only one I know in Contra Costa County.
None, yeah.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah, who does that?
And is it still in Park and Shop?
Yeah, they moved like 3 stores down.
3 stores down?
PPP money,
I saw,
baby.
that. I saw that.
Bigger and better. Let's go.
So how was that? How was starting the barber college? Like, I know that's not, starting a shop is kind of you can conceptualize that.
Do you go by
like,
Dean Hasani? The dean of the college?
Like, how does that?
I was
how does
so
that even
young,
work?
bro.
Yeah,
It
how
was-
does that even work?
In hindsight, it was like the worst social experiment you could put a kid through. I was 22 when we started the process. It actually took a year and a half to get approved. So we had to go through the state and then the federal government. And just to open our doors, it took 2 years. I actually took my Pellet B exam to become a police officer in that time because the barbershop was popping. And I was like, I'm not a barber. I'm not going to sit in here all day. Like, it's making what it's making. I've been here for like almost a year. So, and I was actually working at AT&T at the time selling cell phones, bro, like slinging them. And I got into the police academy, and this is like God's plan, I feel like. 2 years I'm waiting. And then I pursued this police thing for about 4 months. And then finally, on the same day where I get my results for my test, it was a pretty good results. I could have got into the academy. I got a call from the state board saying, hey, you were approved for your barber college. Wow. After 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck? I forgot about this. Like, I forgot. Like, oh my God.
I have to do this now.
And I was like, this is God's plan.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, no one does this. And like, I think I was the youngest person to open a barber school in the state of California. Mm-hmm. When we got federally accredited, I was at this convention, and the lady asked me, she's like, so what's your role with the company? I was like, teacher. And then she's like, okay, who's the owner? Me. And she was like, wait, how old are you? I was like, 23. And she was like,
what?
Hold on. And like, she had to verify, but she was shocked. She's like, you're the youngest person I've ever seen here. Like, what the fuck is this? But it was just because like we had a vision to like push the envelope and do all the steps that needed to be done. We were hella proactive. Like we just were like, all right, what's going to be next in this process? Like, let's get that step taken care of. But we set all the pieces up, and then we followed through. And after a couple of years, the barber school opened, and we were open for enrollment. And I was like, all right, now I got to get people in here.
Right, yeah.
Who got money like that?
You're right.
Know?
So what did you do to market?
Well, yeah, like what did you do to market? And like when you first opened, like how much did it cost to do
bucks? No, it was $7,000 when we started. It was like average if you paid out of pocket. Mm-hmm. When I sold 7 years later, it was $21,000, I think. So it went up a lot. Because by the time I left, we had federal accreditation. We're a Title IV school. So anyone that goes there get VA bill, FAFSA, just to go to barber college.
That's something.
That took a while.
That's something I wanted to talk about too. But
boy, Pat.
Shout out, Pat.
Yeah, shout out,
Pat.
So yeah, back to Blaine's question. Like, so when you started that, how did you start like marketing?
Yeah,
and
like
getting
what were you doing to bring in these students?
not only students, you had to get
customers,
and teachers too, right?
Oh, bro, I'm glad you said that because there's 3 legs to that. Like there's 3 really difficult legs. 1, you have to bring in talent to teach these people. 2, you have to bring in the students, and then 3, you have to bring in the customers willing to get their hair fucked up. Like it is what it is.
Right.
$8 haircuts.
I came in.
Sheesh.
Me and Chucky came in.
Yeah.
Said, hey, give me the best guy.
I would hook up the homies though.
Yeah.
I always did. Like I'm like a 90% success rate with hooking up the homies. So not bad for the people that didn't get plugged. But yeah, I started to market pretty aggressively. I had a really localized mindset for this. Like it's in Concord, so for the customers, I'm a aggressively market all the high schools in the area. Right. So I'm giving out like 2-for-1s, free haircut cards. Every back to school event, I gave out hella free haircut cards at first. I'll do it every year, honestly. And every single year, we would do free haircuts for back to school. We would do haircuts for Christmas, free. And then we would do 2 free homeless events a year. But we did it free every day. Like anytime there was a homeless dude walking by, we'd plug him. Just because it is what it is. But we did like big events with like homeless shelters, resourcing places, what are the like halfway houses. Like we did a lot of events with them, so we would get a lot of free haircuts out. Like it was free labor, but the students didn't care. They're learning the game.
Yeah,
you know?
get your shots up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and for us, like we didn't really have to worry about much, just because like the students are happy, so we're happy. You know what I mean? Like if they're learning, that's good. But we really did a lot, like in a really small, localized area for the actual customers. But for the students, I went heavy on the radio, like old school. I was like, who the fuck would want to go to barber school? And I did ads through Pandora, and I think this is years ago. It's like 2012. So Pandora, and then I think I did Google. And Google was way better than Pandora, but I realized we put so much money into the radio, you can't track that. Yeah. But we just noticed hella more people were interested. They're like calling the.
It's got to be working.
It was on my line. I was a sales guy, so I was like, Urban Barber College at 11 p.m. Like it's like booty call radio hour. They're like, yeah, I want to enroll. I'm like, oh,
Cats just like smoking blunts, and they're like, damn, I should cut hair right now.
Literally, bro, 100%. But I would get calls like that at like 9 to like 4 a.m. because that's like it was a little cheaper to market. Yeah. You know? So I was like, let me get those hours. Yeah, right. The booty, because I was in the car with the homies, so like I would hear all the radio ads. Right. And I'm like, that's genius marketing, but it worked really well because like barbering is more blue collar. Yeah, it's more labor intensive. Yep. So people that would transition careers, radio would be the best place to catch them. Yeah. And it actually worked really well. So we did that a few different times, but longest it was Google. Like it's just the most standard way, right? SEO optimization and just different like marketing campaigns to target.
To understand that in 2012, like people are still to this day. I mean, obviously it changes all the time too, but trying to still master Google SEO AdWords, like to understand that in 2012 and to be using it in 2012, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, my business partner was a genius for that. Like he's a really savvy person. One of the biggest takeaways I've had from my experience is putting people in my circle that are better at doing certain things than I am. Like, don't bring 10 of the same person on the same team saying, all right, look at this team. It's like, no, you have the same motherfucker over and over again. It's a bunch of copycats. Yeah. So, like, for me, it was always really important to have, like, a dope team around that did different things that, like, aided us. Like, Chucky was the dude that created all of our content. You know what I mean? Like, we put different people on the platform, and their careers grew because of it. But that, to me, as, like, the CEO or operator or boss or whatever, it was best to just put people in the right place at the right time to be able to thrive.
Facts.
Dope.
That's huge.
Yeah. Dope. And so you started the Barber College, you got it going, you got your instructors, you got your customers, you got your clients. Obviously, it probably started to grow as you guys got your name out. You guys,
yeah. And then, once that happens, it's like word of mouth. Like every kid that goes through, there's gonna be like, "This is how I did it."
And I think there was like a moment in time where like barbering became really popular, and there was like, it was almost like anyone could do it. Because at first, back in the day, like you would go in a shop, very like specific type of shop. And then at some point there was like, okay, anyone can be a barber now, and there's tons and tons of people. Like it's like
so true.
So many people realize that it's a great career to have where you can make a really good living.
Exactly. Yeah. To me, it felt good to be able to provide a product and service that people not only wanted, they needed it, and they were happy to pay for it. They're like to me, I never felt bad about like what we charged, because when we were the cheapest school, before we had financial aid. So for me, I never felt bad about that. I was always like, I'm doing as much as I can, and I gave hella like fake like Abdullah Hasani scholarships, like I'd name it after my mom, like legit, like like type it out, like give him like $1,500 off because like bro don't got a car, like whatever. Well, like you would do that, but the product started to like speak for itself. Sure. Our pass rate was 100% for 3 years straight. Oh. Then into the fourth year, I think one student had failed. So we had like a 97% pass rate through hundreds of graduations. Like that's not something you can say for a brand new school like that was built by a 23-year-old and a 25-year-old. That
Right.
we're just ambitious. Like we didn't do that. We weren't in the game. Like people hated us for it, right? But like we were a part of it. We just saw a need in the industry. We saw the growth in the industry. We did a bunch of market research and we said, hey, this is only going to keep growing for like 25 years. Like ride the wave now, right? So and it's grown.
One thing I want to know, like, you know, there's a lot of young people that are ambitious, but maybe they have a lack of resources. Like when for you, like you opened the barbershop, right? So that means you had to sign a lease.
Yeah.
That means you had to have credit, potentially. That means that you had to hire, you had to do Google. Like what is like, just real quick in the middle of this podcast, like what's some advice you can give for like a 23-year-old right now that like doesn't know how to do any of that stuff?
Yeah. I think one of my biggest takeaways that I actually had for this podcast, I'm glad you brought it up, is for people that are on the grind or trying to get into the grind, is to focus not only on, I think we always talk about how we're really good at certain things, right? Like we praise ourselves. I always say I'm an outgoing person.
Right.
I'm outspoken. I'm social. I'm an extrovert, whatever. That's great, but like always try to find the things that you're not good at and work on those skill sets. Like for me, when I sold the businesses, I was like, all right, I was a great leader. I delegated work really well, but like, what am I good at?
Yeah.
I'm only good at like dealing with people. Holy shit, I'm not really that dope. You know, like I had to take a real look at myself. I was like, okay, this is interesting. But it was like a great moment for me. So at that moment, I realized I wanted to like grow my skill sets. So I got different certs. I would tell people just to be very patient, work on your like the areas where you're flawed at, and just keep getting better. Because if we're blessed to see many days, we're gonna have so many different attempts to be able to be great.
Right.
Like it's on us to really just. You could be patient, wait. It's like a roller coaster. What is it, like double dutch?
Yeah.
You wait your turn. You
Totally.
wait your turn. Like when the timing is right, you just hop right in there and it's going to be a free flow. As long as you're prepared to, you got your shoes tied, your mindset ready, and you've done this before, like you're ready to go in. So for me, that's why like I've been on a hiatus for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm not doing hella business stuff. I got my side projects. I got this and that going, but I'm not aggressive in the game right now. But it's not like I retired from entrepreneurism.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I got a day job. I got a baby.
Yeah.
But I'm going to come back in whenever I'm ready for it. But my advice is just to grow on those skill sets, to get better at what you're not good at. Be patient because your time will come. If you're growing, if you're putting in that work, doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to see success.
Right.
Success is it's a variable, right? It depends on where success lands for you, but you'll never be mad at yourself for working hard.
Facts.
So did you like, would you say like for a young kid, like you just Google it or ask somebody, or how do you find like the closest person? Like if you don't know what to do at all, like.
So for me, I didn't have an older brother, no older guy cousins, no one doing business, so I had nobody to really go out to. I'll never forget this. I went to the city of Concord, and I spoke with 2 different people at the city.
Just walked in.
I walked in, just said, what's up? Hey, I want to open a business. I have questions. One was the attorney for the city. She was just there that day. And I'm hella outgoing, so like I was like, let me play stupid and ask every question I could. And she was bored out of her mind. Like she was like this, like, hello, I can help. Like she came up and did the receptionist job for me just to talk to me. So like I asked her hella questions and she put me on game for certain stuff. And then after that, over the years, I knew Officer Manchaca from the city of Concord. He was in charge of all like the entertainment, nightlife and stuff like that. So I think I spoke with him once about some stuff, and that was it.
Just ask questions.
Just being curious.
Yeah, being curious.
Just be
Be
like
a sponge. Be curious.
Just go what's up. Ask him. Like see what's up. Like it never hurts to be the stupid person asking the question.
Right. And I think that's something that a lot of kids misconstrue, like in school. Yeah. Right. And it's something that like I think I struggled from in class. Right. You never want to be that kid just like asking questions like I don't know.
Yeah.
But you never learn until you start asking questions. And then once I got into college, I realized I'm going to be the guy in the front. And I'm going to be asking questions because A, I want to play baseball and I need to pass my classes. And B, now I'm taking classes that I want to learn it kind of, you know, like you have to take your core classes that you need to do, but then you get to pick everything else. And it's like, oh, I want to learn this. And that's why like YouTube nowadays is such a big thing for people because you can just type in what you want to learn.
Yeah, YouTube, TikTok, like Instagram.
Right?
Even.
So just being curious don't be bashful. Don't feel like, nervous to like ask questions because your mind is your most powerful weapon, right? So being able to fill yourself with that knowledge is like being curious, just like you were. So that's huge.
I've been actually practicing that more recently. Like what I've used to do a lot in conversation is when someone throws out a word or something that I don't know what they're talking about, but I act like I do because I don't want to stop what they're saying, or I don't want to I just want to seem like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've been practicing more as to be like, wait, like what does that mean?
Break that down
break that down for me real quick. Like I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to like break that, like ask them to break that down. I've been practicing that a lot lately. Yeah.
I think that's key. It's the only way to keep growing and learning about things that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Like what's that saying? Like you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Like
Yeah.
you really want to challenge yourself. And that's like the reason I keep moving, like from city to city, just to like meet new people and like network and like learn new things. And I think we can all do a better job of that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
So the Barber College was thriving. You got the financial aid, which is crazy.
About that, has that always been a thing for barber colleges? Or were you a founding father of getting financial aid for?
No, it was a thing before.
It was a thing, okay.
But I think the percentage of barber schools that have it is like under like 20%.
Oh, wow.
It's really rare.
So you were like, we should get financial aid. Like
Before we even opened, that was like the original goal.
Yeah.
That's why we got it so quick. One, and my partner was really aggressive about like hiring outside consultants to help us out, just because like I said, we delegated work really well. Like if you're an expert at something, we'll bring you on board to help with this, because like shit, like I don't know how to
Yeah,
do it,
right.
You know, like let's put the best minds to it. So it really pushed the envelope really well. So I shout out to Alejandro for that. Yeah.
dope. So you got the financial aid, crushing game even more. And then, so I always knew that you were the founder of Urban Barber College. I still see it in Concord all the time. I wasn't aware that you sold it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what sparked that? What made you do that?
Oh shit, bro! Money talks.
No, right.
No, so it's I sold the business, and the reason for it was everything was going great. I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I was happy with it.
Sorry, I
Go
don't
ahead.
mean to cut you off. Were you paying yourself from the barber college? Were you paying
Not
yourself
in the
like a
beginning,
salary?
no.
Okay.
I did after like 6 months once we started to generate some revenue, but it was like at first it was under $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And then I remember it went to like $200 a month because I bought myself a nice car. Fake it till you make it, baby.
You know?
But bitches. No. So it took a pretty big hit when I bought the car, but it went back up slowly. It took a long time, but I put in my sweat, dude. Like every dollar we made, it would fund the other stuff.
Right.
Like we would have holdover money for ourselves. It was like pocket change, you know, like it was just to get us through the week, through the month. But everything we did, we self-funded the next project. Like we didn't get no investors. It just
back into the
it was
business.
all in-house. Yeah, it was. It just all kind of pushed the envelope, and it was really hard to do that because like as a 21, 22, 23-year-old, you're like, man, I want to buy a house. I want to
ball out.
do this. I want to get a table at Infusion or whatever club is popping this week, you know?
Right.
But, you know, I'm going to pay entry, you know, walking through it. But be smart about the money. But
So was it always like that then, or did it eventually you started paying yourself more like a salary?
Yeah.
Okay.
As we got more established, we opened a second school. We opened a second barbershop in the Stonebridge Mall. And once we started getting all that popping, we started to like take care of ourselves a lot more. And I was getting married, so at that point I told my partner I couldn't really put this kind of effort into it, and he had like really lofty goals. So I was like, we need to reevaluate this, and our consultant was the one that triggered that. He came in, he said, yo, I got these investors, they want to come buy some schools in America,
Also out of
like investors from out of the country, just to come buy it. I think it was like a Chinese company. I really don't know.
Yeah.
This is one of the dudes that was helping us with like one of our Title IV funding help. And he sparked that conversation. We started talking about numbers if we ever were to leave it. And we kind of like dabbled with it at first. We rejected it. And then after that, my partner and I, we spoke. He was like, hey, yo, what if I wanted to sell? And I was like, shit, I would love to, but I'm not trying to work like that. I'm trying to come at you and let you know I might work a little less. You know, like I'm trying to live a normal life. And then so like that dude really planted the seed. And anytime there's two people, eventually someone's going to get bought out. There's no hard feelings. It's always love. If the offer's right, if the opportunity's there, by all means, take it. And after 6 months of negotiations, no lawyers, we really just agreed on a price. I was happy. He was happy. He's still running the business. He's growing it. I think he has pretty big goals for it. For me.
Oh, he's still involved.
He's still fully involved, yeah. Yeah, he has the whole thing now, and he's sustaining it really well. It has a great brand. Name is great. For me, I did my thing. You know? I left my imprint.
How important is that for you? To one, like pay yourself, like once the business is kind of, I guess, where you feel like it's successful and you're paying yourself, and two, like when you're ready to bow out and you're ready to say like everything's going well, like I'm ready to cash out and pay myself, because I know a lot of people will only consider that once it starts to decline, right? Like some people will wait a little bit too long, or they won't pay themselves because, like you said, they're trying to self-fund the next project and they're just consistently like taking the money and building. How important is it, would you say, as an entrepreneur to pay yourself and to cash out when the time is right?
I think it's really important for two reasons. One, there's two ways, right? One is like residual payments, and then two is like a cash out at the end, right? Like, so for me, one, it supports a lifestyle, and if you can afford to like kind of forego that and use that fund to like invest further into the endeavor, by all means go ahead. But who can live for free, right? It's really hard to do that. So each person's situation is different in that regards. When it comes to the cashing out, walking away, that's something I've done my entire life, and I've never felt bad about it. I've always like handed the keys over to different stuff, and I was always the type of person that removed the emotion from it. Like I could walk by that store today and be like, wow, we did great things here. I love that time. But there's no resentment. There's no bitterness. I'm just really happy that it's still flourishing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that to me was really important, to be able to walk away from something, just because you could have those feelings. It's like seeing an ex-girlfriend at the bar. You're like, ooh, I miss her. Yeah. No, you miss the feeling, whatever, the nostalgia. But it's I think it's really important to take care of your mental, to worry about like where you're at, to focus on just the overall aspect of it too. Once you get to a certain level, you can't really just be on that grind like 80 hours a week. Whoever says they do that their whole life, I think they're bullshitting, bro. Like it's too tiring. Like you need balance. Like you can't really do it like that. So hats off to you if you are though. But
in our last podcast, we had Sheldon on, and he spoke of you very highly, and of course, and then
was it highly?
I think there was a piece of it that was pretty highly, and he had mentioned about just valuing time over money and like taking mini retirements, right? So it seems like maybe you're in some type of, or were in some type of mini retirement.
Kind of. No. So when I left the barber stuff, I sat back and I took a bunch of assessment tests. I was like, what am I good at? I really wanted to learn what I was good at. Yeah. And I realized I was lacking in certain aspects. And in my endeavor, I had a business partner who was involved all on the finance side. That he owned it. That was his. Maybe some HR too. But beyond that, I saw all other sides of the business. So for me, I was like, let me get better at the finance side. So I got my series certifications through one of these like insurance companies. They put you through the programs and stuff. And after that, once I learned it, I was like, I like that I know all this stuff. I'm better equipped for myself financially now long term. But I'm not trying to sell this as I'm not trying to be like, it's great for like the people in my office all had Rolexes. They had a helicopter for the office in New York City, Manhattan, like top penthouse.
So that's what took you to New York?
Yeah, that's what took me to New York. Okay. Like, bro, I was like poached by the dopest brand, and like the recruiter was from Walnut Creek.
And this is insurance?
Insurance.
Life insurance?
Life insurance, yeah. But they were like trying to get me.
New York Life or?
Northwestern Mutual.
Okay.
Wow.
One of their competitors. But like their office was like the number 3 in the entire country for all insurance agencies. Like they sold everything to Wall Street, celebrities, and NBC, whatever it was. Like it went through that office. Yeah. Like so, they legit had a helicopter. Like that's how dope they were. Like people flying on it like once a week, and I was like, that's gay. But I'm a little bitch downstairs, like getting my certifications. Yeah. But I mean, I got all that stuff and I loved it. But I was like, I'm not gonna do the sales portion. It was just for myself to grow. And from there, I pivoted heavily into software. Started on the sales side, did that for about a year, and then from sales, I pivoted. I was selling HR actually. I pivoted to the product side. So now I'm a. It sounds weird to say, but I'm an engineering product manager. So I'm like all your iOS updates for Apple. I do that.
Oh wow.
Me and my teams do that. Yeah. So that's what my day job is now. But like I really want to get better at shit that I never did.
So
before.
now you're on the Apple gang.
Yeah.
Dope.
Apple gang. Yeah.
Did you graduate from San Jose State?
Nope.
Neither did I.
Nope.
So you were able to, sell the Barber College, go to New York, learn the life insurance game, pivot to tech without a college degree.
Yeah. Self-learned everything. So when I first pivoted, nobody was trying to hook me up with a job. Like to go from like being like a CEO or somebody that people respected you into a field that nobody gave a fuck about you.
That's humbling.
Dude, like to say that like, what is it that Mike Tyson quote? Like everybody got a plan till they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like I legit, when I left insurance, I was like, all right, well, let me go get my first like corporate job, So I go into the workforce and I'm applying for hella shit and nobody's giving me no love. And I was like, all right, this is tough. And then I finally found a company that was shitty enough that would hire me. They were a Series A funded company from Tel Aviv, Israel. And I was a part of their first team in America. So there was like 3 of us in America. And then when I left, it was about 20. But so I saw it grow and I saw the CEO and he was like an average Joe Schmo that had made like hundreds of millions of dollars over like a 30-year career in software. And he would always, like, it was weird. I would see him once a month and he would always like pull us into the meeting room and he would give the same spiel about how he loves business and he's an entrepreneur. And I was sitting there, I'm like, why is he always saying the same story to us? And then I found out that's the same pitch he gives to his investors, so he's always practicing on us. So I was like, this motherfucker's using it. I was like, it's the same combo. But I realized, I was like, there's so much money in this world that I never saw before. Like, I'm sitting here staring at someone that was like legit rocking like simple shit, like Allbirds shoes and like like a built tee,
Yeah.
but he was sitting there talking about how like he just flew in, you know, from Tel Aviv on a private jet, and I was like, fuck, dude, like
I could do this.
like there's like celebrity rich and there's like tech rich, you know?
Right.
Like there's like layers to this shit.
Yeah, where
you
you're
know?
like low key just super balling. No one knows that you're that balling.
Exactly. Yeah. He was like, yeah, normal ass dude, bro. Everything about him was normal. But anyways, he kind of inspired me to like grow in technology. So like that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm dabbling with it, but that it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like soft skills is one thing, but we as humans need to keep developing our hard skills as we get older. I remember there was a time where I really wanted to learn video production. When I sold the business, I went on a road trip across the country when I moved from SF to New York City. I drove my Prius and I brought my boy Patrick Bell, who just called me. We drove all the way cross country and we called it a boot camp. It was an 8-day boot camp. Every day we would drive and we had GoPro set up in the car. We were just recording hella stuff, rolling hella blunts, just having a good ass time, you know? And every day we would record like 2-3 hours worth of stuff and then go and edit. And we like all this was for like a 1 minute like montage, like a bunch of B-roll, right? Of us just like kind of driving like corny, right? But like it was like a boot camp to learn how to like do video production. And like we'd watch hella videos through the drive and like try to get better at like the skill set. I never like did this for my job or anything, but I just wanted to learn like Final Cut Pro. Like I was like, let me learn Final Cut Pro. So it would legit take like 5 hours to clip like a 1 minute video.
Right.
So it took 8 days to drive cross country.
And then you film the video.
Right.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
But,
sick.
hey, you got memories, man.
For sure, bro.
And that's the most important thing, you know. Just a bunch
of
like
like quick video rolls.
Right.
So stupid.
But that's I mean that's huge. Like you can't and you can't take those things, you know. You can't take those lessons and the memories and moments that you had, whether it's driving across the country or starting these businesses, the barbershop, then the college, and you know it's putting you in this place where you're at now, right? You know, doing your thing at Apple, and I'm sure that there's things brewing in your mind.
I got some dope shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Really cool
You
stuff.
know,
Yeah.
and
I'm juiced for that.
So now you're in LA.
Yeah.
Live in LA, or you live in OC?
Or Laguna
OC
Beach area.
OC?
Yeah, like one city over.
Yeah.
Dope. And then you're working for Apple.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing anything else besides Apple, or are you just...
Yeah, I got these side stuff. So I have my own consulting company. So I work with small businesses on different marketing campaigns. I help them with different initiatives from any development of software, supporting software, even getting operations up and running for small businesses.
Awesome.
I've worked with like maybe 12 different barbershops since I left the barbershop and helped them open up their own.
You know,
I've helped a couple people open barber schools up, and it's been cool. I like doing it. It's not a full-time thing. It's something I just do out of like a passion project.
Right.
Some things are really cool, but for the most part, I'm putting a lot of my energy into like some HR software I'm kind of coming out with. So that's like where my juices are flowing right now.
So you're picking the
that's
tech
big
game
boy
up.
stuff.
You're learning.
Slowly, bro,
Yeah, so
slowly.
you're like learning in that place, like you said, putting yourself in this kind of uncomfortable environment, maybe that you haven't studied your whole life, but going. I mean, if we're talking technology, the top company.
Yeah.
in Apple. And
Yo,
you're
I
learning.
lied and cheated my way to get there, by the way.
Hopefully they
I
don't
hope my
watch
team
this.
don't see this. I'm going to tag it on LinkedIn. I don't give a fuck. If they
tagging
watch
you
it,
too.
I'm down to get fired, bro. I don't care. Yo, I swear, like, I helped, for the last 3 years, I've helped so many people get dope-ass jobs because when I got in, nobody helped me with none of this shit. Like, nobody, when I started the barbering stuff, when I started the promotion stuff, when I started working in corporate America, nobody was lending a hand out just for some dumbass reason. It might be pride. It might be there. Everyone's just busy. But, like, I've been helping hella people. So I'm helping people get careers from nothing, bro. Like, it's working.
I think people just aren't creative enough they don't even know how. A lot of people aren't creative enough to even help.
Yeah, that's so true. They probably don't know how to like extend themselves. I really don't know, but like for me, that's just who I am in my nature. So like when I help people get these jobs now in corporate America, they're like, dude, like that's really cool. Like they legit work for my company, you know, like they get their experience with me, so on and so forth. I prep them for these interviews, and it's worked really well. And yeah, it's been a blessing just to be able to like grow and help people grow and continue to do that. Just because if you take it back to the core of it, when I sold that coin to my boy, I loved helping someone and seeing that person like willing and happily paying me. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, dude, you
do it
got
again.
this sick thing. Yeah, do it again.
Like a fucking fiend.
coin.
Like, give me more. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. So
Yeah.
it's a purpose kind of drives it always, right?
Always. I mean, you can't beat that, you know? Like money, material things are all great, but like to have those people that you do help speak highly of you, you know, because when we're gone, all that other material stuff is gone, but that impact you made on their life is forever, you know?
So true.
So, like, whether you don't get your flowers now, and I'm going to give you your flowers now, dude. You've been an epic person. I should have let you in. the party that day, but the cops,
He's
the
willing to get
feds.
fired
I
from
know, he's
Apple.
ready.
And you wouldn't let him in.
The fucking party, man. The damn feds
That's
were,
hella funny.
they were gonna take me if I let one more person in, and you
Low-key,
had
I remember them pulling
85.
out. I remember them leaving as we
Yeah.
were pulling
You're
in.
like, oh, I'm coming in now.
I was like,
We're
wait, the
good
cops
to go.
left?
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Right. And sure enough, 10 minutes later they came back. But like, dude, realistically, like giving your flowers now, like from creating this culture in the Contra Costa County for barbers and things like that, let alone, but like business, man. Like you are a mogul in that sense, you're my boy, so I don't,
you, man.
just
Yeah.
every
No,
day.
this
I'm
means
not,
everything. Thank you,
I'm not every day just like, Abdullah, but like we're here, we have this platform, and I think you deserve those flowers,
Thank you
man,
so
because
much,
there
man.
are a lot
It
of
means
these
a lot, bro.
people, barbers, and just people with lofty goals. I was somebody around you for a long time, just seeing what you're doing. And I don't think I realized then that like I was like, picking your brain and picking just what you're doing, just being around you. I'm not like, hey, can you tell me this, but just watching, hanging out with you, being your friend. And it's like, it set goals for me. Like, oh, this is what I want to do in my life. Like I want to own, I want to create businesses. I want to do these things. And you were one of the founding fathers in this area in our generation to do that stuff.
Man, that means so much to hear. Thank
so
you
it's
so
huge.
Much, yeah.
Like,
I feel like Paul
kudos.
Pierce getting
Yeah.
his Hall of Fame induction.
Right.
But I'm like,
Right. But that's what we want to do here, man. We
Nah, I
want to bring
appreciate y'all,
dope
yeah.
people on. Your personality is through the roof, right? That's why people love you out the gate. It's who you are as a
Thank you so
person.
much, yeah.
All that other business stuff is just icing on the cake. Your intelligence, the way you carry yourself is just icing on the cake. But we want to bring people like you on this podcast to give game, but like just to see like anybody could do it.
For real.
Anybody could do it.
No, I appreciate you guys saying that. That really does mean a lot. It's funny. When you said that, it kind of reminded me when I was first opening up my barbershop, I went out to every one of my homies. I might have even texted you. I don't remember. I'm thinking right now if I did. And I was like, yo, I'm going to open this business. I need investment. And nobody was down.
I'm like, I have a Subway sandwich I could give you.
Yeah, I mean, nobody had money at 20, bro. Like, we're all broke as fuck. You were 18, I was 20. So, like, you were younger than me. So I was like, all right, I'll do it on my own. But I was just like, like, you really got to ride this wave solo bolo. Like, it is what it is. But it's imagine if we all, like, when you meet somebody, there's synergy, right? Like, you have a good ass time with them, you vibe, whatever. But if your mindset isn't aligned completely when it comes to, like, let's say business, like, you can't reach your pinnacle of, like, performance, right? Like, you can't do the most with them. So imagine, like, if we at, like, 17, 18, 19 linked up and we're like, yo, like, let's change the game and do something. Like, if we had the right mindset, we could have done that. But it's like, everything comes in waves. So, like, it's beautiful to see people, like, catching the wave like you guys are doing now and just, like, riding that shit to the top.
Yeah.
You put in the work, that shit's going to come.
Yeah, bro. I feel that.
And I think you learn as time goes on because, like, when you're younger, you're just like, me. Like, what can I do for me to get popping? And
you
then
kind of have to, right?
You kind of
like
have
in
to,
survival
but
mode.
right? You're in survival mode. But then, like, once you get older and you've gone through the ups and downs, trials and tribulations of life, you realize it's like what we talk about all the time and what you just hit on. It's like, who am I going to bring around me to make me better? Yeah. How am I going to find that team to actually get me? Because what I've been doing, kind of selfishly trying to do myself, it hasn't got me to those M's and to $100 million and flying in PJs, right? Like that would be cool to have. Like, how do you get there? It's by getting more people that are better than you at things. You're good at what you do, but how can you put yourself in that room and be not the smartest person?
It's kind of what starts to intrigue you at some point. Like, as a young person, you might have these ambitious thoughts, but you're with your boys, you guys are having a good time. And I don't know, at least for me, as I've gotten older and as I've got, like, taken step by step, like, what intrigues me is meeting people that are, like, doing something that I don't comprehend, or doing something that's, like, elevated, or, like, that's just, like, innovative. And it's great because in this business, the reason why I like being in real estate is you meet these types of people all the time. They're doing crazy stuff, and, like, they're doing just different types of business models. And when I meet them, I'm like, I want to learn more. I want to be around you more, because obviously you have a infectious personality, and you have these, like, thoughts that are different than what most people think out of. Most people go through their day, gotta go to work, gotta go home, gotta do my thing. And we still think like that too as entrepreneurs. You still have your routine, but, like, there's these people that just, their mind doesn't turn off. I know mine doesn't. And they're constantly thinking of, like, these brand new ideas and implementing them, trying some. A lot of them fail, but there's always that one that kind of sticks.
One just got to stick.
Yeah, and just being around those different people, like, I'll sit and have a conversation with somebody at a bar, at a restaurant or something that they're doing something crazy. I'll just sit there and talk to them for hours.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can like step out of your comfort zone and like win. Like it's, they say success like it doesn't fall in your lap, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to like work. Even if you're like working blindly towards it, it could possibly fall. You know?
Right,
Like,
sure.
But you have to be working, right?
Right.
So like, it's funny when you said that. It reminded me. Recently, I was at a Starbucks and I met this old guy. He couldn't plug in his laptop. He was too old and it was like too low to the ground. And I helped him plug it in. Lo and behold, this guy has like 200 apartment complexes around the country or so. I don't know what it was, but like. He was balling as fuck. I was like, damn, you're hella rich. And he was like 90 years old, like using a Dell PC from 2008.
Flipping through the yellow
Starbucks.
pages.
Literally,
It's crazy though. Like, and there's a lot you can learn from that guy.
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
If
who
you
wouldn't
soak
want to
it
be
in.
around that guy?
Shit.
You know what I mean?
I tried. He was like, leave me alone. Don't follow me.
Like, try to get his number. He's like, no. Yeah.
But let's switch it up real quick. I'm really curious. Like, you guys gave me a little tour of your facilities here.
Yes.
Like, walk me through like what the vision is, like what the goals are, whether it's like for the next couple of months, forever. Like where do you guys see Rise collectively going? Because you guys have so many legs to this.
Well, we had this conversation
Yeah.
yesterday morning.
Yeah. I mean, it changes a lot.
As it should.
It changes a lot, and we try to stay with a similar vision. We try to stay on the same vision so that we're all working towards something, but it does change, right? It started from just Chris Lopez and Ty Pham just doing their farmers insurance thing. They started the mortgage side that had a rough start. You know, they brought me and Chris Strange in and Blaine in for the real estate side. And so we're growing that. And so now, like, we've been able to build this where we have these things, you know, starting to produce, which is great, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, step by step. We got the gym downstairs where we have trainers, we have kids in there all the
That's
time.
sick, yeah.
And we want to keep growing. Like we have lofty goals. We're very ambitious. You know, the market has changed recently. It's very interesting, but we're not slowing down. We're in fact doubling up. Like, and we just want to we want to continue to, at least for me, build the culture that we have already when it comes to real estate. Obviously, all things real estate.
Okay.
We love the athletic portion as well because we all came from some type of athletic background.
That's discipline right there.
Yeah.
Discipline and just a lot of those things that you learn through athletics can obviously be
So
used
translate.
translate to entrepreneurship. And so what you see here is like basically our starting point, but we would love to, and we talked about it yesterday, love to grow it to even bigger where maybe we have a full court, maybe we have 4 full courts, maybe we have a full gym, maybe we do you know, tournaments on the weekends. Maybe we have people coming in and can train with certain trainers or get, you know, sports therapy, and like our offices are on top, like looking down with like all glass, like something dope like
Fantasy
that.
Factory.
Yeah.
That's what I say all the time. Like
It's
Rob
like-
Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory.
That's
where
like
it's
what I see, yeah.
yeah. So
What was it? It was like Equinox meets Wolf of Wall Street meets
like
you know
Jamtown and
Jamtown,
like,
right,
like,
like-
you know, or
yeah,
something
like,
like
I
that.
love
Like
that. I
yeah,
love
like.
that.
We like all of that. We like the culture, right? Like sports culture is just dope no matter where you go, especially in the Bay Area. Like we have great sports teams. We have really like great
knowledgeable
high schools
fans.
and
everyone
and-
knows shit. You know?
Exactly.
Not
And
like
so like,
surface level.
you know, why wouldn't you want to have a skybox at Chase Center, like as a real estate company
Yeah.
and go to the game? You know what I mean? Like be involved in sports is like definitely something
That's
that
so
we're definitely
dope.
interested in.
Oh, so this is like big. Like you guys are gonna. Yeah.
We would love to continue to grow.
Yeah,
like, really,
definitely.
really big.
And I think that's kind of with the culture and the vision of all the people that are pillars in the company. We all have the same mindset. You know, we all have the same mindset, and a lot of the things that you spoke on too is our company's mindset. It is real estate, it is lending, it is construction, it is insurance, it is sports, right? And the only way that we could have all those is by everybody going in and getting those license, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, some of us have some of the license, some have all the license, you know, and it's to be knowledgeable. It's not to transact and to use that all the time, but it's to, I have this.
Preaching to the choir,
you
man.
know, so that's, and we all get it. And the ones that don't have those, we kind of all have ambitions like, okay, I think I should go get that, you know, get my MLS or, you know, go, you know, learn about insurance or whatever, right? So everybody has that same vision and we all get it. It's like the more knowledge we have, the more we're all gonna align with the vision and then that lofty goal of having that huge complex office, you know, sport intertwined with business and all these different, the umbrella that's under Rise Group, we can get there. You know?
One of our first, I don't know, was a slogan or whatever, one-liner was like more than a realtor, right? We want to know more than just selling real estate. We want to be investors. We want to be flippers. We want to, own real estate. We don't want to we want to help people obtain their goals. What about our goals though too? We want to help us achieve our own goals, and we want to be a staple in the Bay Area when it comes to culture. That's why we do the podcast. We want to have guys like you on here because you're a part of that. You're a part of that Bay Area culture. You're one of the entrepreneurs that is a trendsetter in the Bay Area that a lot of people look up to. Like, whether you know it or not, a lot of people, I'm sure, look up to you. Yeah, a lot of people look up to you. They're probably waiting, for you to make your next move. They're watching to see
what can I hit on next?
Right? Yeah, like they
get this guy a Rise Group contract. Right. Damn it!
They want to see what you're going to do
Put me
next.
in the game, coach.
But we want to be able to have that platform to bring these things to life too. Like that's why we love the podcast so much, because we want to show off our friends and family and the people that we know, people that are killing it in the Bay Area. That
and there's so many, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's
the coldest part.
I feel like there's all these podcasts out there, but like there's so much talent out the Bay. Like why we have to leave the Bay to go get shown off? You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Get shown off here.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. So we want to continue to do that. We want to continue to have more people on here that are Bay Area state. I mean, and outside of the Bay Area, but we love the Bay Area.
I mean, if you start at home first, then you expand out. Yeah. If and when you even need to. Yeah. There's so much here that they cover all.
And everything comes from here.
Literally, yeah.
Right.
Everything that's in everybody's pocket comes from here.
I'm talking shit to anyone in LA when they say hella. I'm like, nah, you can't even say that. Like, no, my cousin's from Sac. I'm like, nah, bro.
Nope. And don't ever say that food slaps. Don't ever say that.
That's the worst, bro. Don't get me started, dude. Don't get me started, yeah.
But that's huge, man. I mean,
what about any advice for you on anything you want to get off your chest or anything like that?
Let's address Sheldon real quick.
Let's do it.
Right. That was so funny when I heard on the podcast that he said that I think he said that I poached him. So I was going in there to poach somebody else. But I knew Sheldon, he was my boy, but he was like, I'm a rock here. This is my spot for a while. I want to grow here. So I was like, all right, bet. And I'm still trying to go in there and poach him or somebody else. So I don't even remember who all the people were, but I feel like I did that to everybody.
Well,
but yeah, my bad, Sheldon. I wasn't trying to poach you. But beyond that, when he worked for us at the barbershop, we had this thing going where I wanted the brand to be dope. I didn't want to promote no individual barber.
Right.
I promoted the brand because I wasn't cutting hair, so I'm not profiting more if I do it any other way. So for me, I was like, this is the fairest way for the team. So this dude legit, his entire mirror was like 3 feet wide by like 6 feet long, dude. It was like a transcript from the Bible, bro. Just hella words and like size 82 font. Like it was just hella bold. I was like, bro, you can't even see through the window anymore. He's like, yeah, but they can call me.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I respect it.
Like, yeah, you can give your number, bro. Don't be this loud, bro. Just give a card, bro.
I love that. I love when he said that.
So we went back and forth, and finally, I remember I went in there and I took a razor. I was like, man, I'm taking this shit off, bro. Swipe took all that shit off, left it on the ground too. I was like, bro, nope. And he was like, all right, I'm done. I think he lasted for another like 6 months, but it wasn't my call. It was the barber's, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to show love to everybody.
Right,
like I'm the last person to be selfish when it comes to stuff like that. I'm not making money off it. I'm charging chair rent. So like, what difference is it to me if you're cutting 1 or 50 people? I want everybody to be happy. So
you were protecting the culture at that moment.
I was speaking for the boys. Yeah.
You were protecting the culture that you built, but that's fine. And the culture that you built, like Sheldon said too, like what he built isn't for everybody either. Like you have to, whatever your culture is, sometimes you have a really talented person, but they have a different vision.
Right.
Yep.
And
that's
respect
fine.
that,
Yeah,
right? Like that's great.
Because everyone has different business models and culture that they
That's
create.
so true.
And just because you're talented doesn't mean that we're always going to work best with each other. There's a lot of talented people that don't work well together.
They don't. I mean,
Look at the Lakers.
I was like, look at Brooklyn.
I was watching the game while driving last night. I was like, yeah, lose. Go Clippers. And I hate the Clippers. Yeah. But
man, yeah. So I mean, but that's again, you went out, you found these barbers, and like you said, and like you have no animosity towards them flourishing. I think you have nothing but like, I think it probably makes you happy, right?
Hell yeah,
like
dude.
to see Sharp
The
Barbershop
footprint,
now,
yeah.
like fucking crushing it. Like, I mean, that's awesome for them.
You walk in there, most of his barbers went through my school,
And
EJ and all those guys.
right.
Like, you're like, all right, bro.
That's
that you
huge.
see the legacy there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look for that, but that's there.
That's
if you, like,
awesome.
you go poach it, like
Yeah.
you go look for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I should go poach barbers from his barbershop and open one just to get him back. Yo, EJ, come work for me.
Just kidding. Shout out to Sheldon.
Man, it's all
Love that
love.
guy. Yeah, great
Yeah,
person.
we've all been down for
That's
too
my
long.
brother,
Yeah.
I actually play video games with him sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you on?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
I had never
I
played a
was-
shooter game until COVID.
I think we were all on Call of Duty over COVID.
For sure, yeah. It was a thing to do.
Yeah, I haven't touched. I have the old Xbox too. The one that there's a new one that I think came out during COVID.
You still got like the white one that gets the red ring, huh?
No, that's like two Xboxes ago.
20 years ago.
But there's the one that
360, I think, yeah.
yeah, the 3. What's the one? That's the newest one. out
Xbox
there.
One.
I don't think I have that one. Maybe I do.
It just came out last year.
Oh yeah, then no,
I only say the one with the red ring because that's the only one I still have.
I still have mine just sitting right there.
It's all dusty.
I haven't touched it at all because I gave it up.
I mean,
COVID ended, bro.
I know.
We're back to life.
Back to life.
I gave
Right.
it up.
How has that changed business, by the way?
Well, we
Like, does
actually
that help? Like,
no. Well, during COVID, we didn't stop. They didn't shut us down, so
Yeah.
we were essential. So
interesting.
we made it. There was like 1 month that people were scared, and then after that, it took off.
Mm-hmm.
So we killed it during COVID, and then after, we continue to kill it all the way up into this year. We're still killing it, but obviously the market changed now. So now it's our like right now, like everyone else suffered during that time, unfortunately, but not us. We did well. Now's our time. Now we're seeing a lot of realtors exit the business. A lot of loan officers exit the business because things are changing, and it's not a happy-go-lucky anyone can do it market right now. You have to be skilled. You have to work on your skills. You have to stay motivated because you talk about Mike Tyson saying you have a plan until you get punched. Like, you're getting punched a lot. I mean, just because it's a different type of market right now.
question: is it an inventory problem or is it the interest rates?
Interest rate problem.
Yeah.
Not problem. Interest rates, obviously they're.
It's like, how can you educate them to understand that this is beneficial for them in the long run, right? And it's hard for people to grasp that and just hear it from.
Is it because prices are a little bit down and you can refinance later? Is that
Well, that's the beauty in it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
The
that's
beauty in it is your interest rate's a little bit higher, right? But the purchase price of the home over that 30-year fixed mortgage is going
starts
to be
to come
less.
down.
It's coming,
right?
It's coming down.
As interest rates go up, prices start to come down. I tell people like this: for agents, it's never an easy market. There's always an obstacle. Whether interest rates are low, and there's way more transactions happening, but there's a lot more competition in that market because a bunch of agents flood into the industry because they see so many transactions happening. Plus, there's a lot of demand. So if you have a listing, you're putting it on the market, it's selling. But if you're representing buyers, you're gonna be competing against 10 to 15 buyers. So you're just throwing offers out. Now, interest rates are going up, prices are coming down, so there's not as many transactions happening. There's less competition, so a lot of agents are leaving the market. However, now people are scared. Now people are scared to buy because they see in the news what's going on in Ukraine and interest rates and inflation and all this negative stuff being poured. They're scared. They don't know what's going to happen. Election time, recession, just all of that. What our pitch is always going to be is that there's always an opportunity in every market.
How does your approach change? Knowing
Just
that
like
this
that.
is the buyers have changed.
That just like that, there's always an opportunity in every market. What's your goal?
Right.
You know what I mean? This is how you can hedge what's going on right now. Right now, interest rates are 7%. What a lot of people are taking advantage of is a 2-1 buy down, where you because homes aren't selling as quickly, they're staying on the market longer. You're seeing price reductions. What people are doing is they're getting money from the seller to pay for their 2-1 buy down, which is an interest rate buy down. So for the first year, you get your interest rate for 2 points less. So if it's a 7% interest rate, now for the first year, you're getting, let's say, 2 points from the seller to pay that down. You're getting your first year at 5% interest, so it helps you on your monthly payment. And then the second year you get for a 6% interest, so it helps you on your payment anymore. So you're only going to start paying that 7% by year 3.
Year 3, okay.
So it helps people out because when you have a 7% interest rate, your payment could be your monthly payment can be crazy, and that's the most important thing when it comes to comfortability of buying a house. People forget people end up forgetting what they bought the house for. The thing that they remember is what they have to pay every month. So doing our best to educate the clients, and I always tell people this too. We don't sell homes, we sell sellers, we sell buyers. They get in their own way, they get in their own head. If we're able to educate them to do what's best for their financial future based on our professional recommendation, like that's the obstacle for us every single day.
And right now it's like, if it's a necessity, right, the worst thing you can do in this market is, like he said, you're getting seller concessions, you're getting maybe a little higher interest rate but lower purchase price. So don't block your blessing, is what I always like to say. Don't block your blessing when this is something is a necessity for you right now. If you're having kids or something, and your house is getting too small for your family or whatever your situation is, it's figure out what that situation is with that client and what your needs are, because your needs might not be the next person's needs, right? So don't block your blessing when you are getting these benefits, right? Just because you see a higher interest rate doesn't mean that there's other benefits that come from the higher interest rate, right? So like, don't block that blessing. And you know, if it's something that you need and you want to put an offering on this house, let's do it and let's make it beneficial to you in your situation.
There's so many great things happening in this market right now when it comes to, for buyers especially. You know, before, like I said, you're competing against so many other buyers, and those houses in those neighborhoods that are highly sought after are getting offers in crazy amounts over the asking price, to the point
Still
where
to this day?
no, I'm saying in the previous market.
Okay.
To the point where it's not appraising, and you're having to come in with your own cash, right? So now, right, you know, a lot of people in the previous market were like, hey, you know, like, when's the housing market going to crash? When are prices going to go down? Where are those people at? You know, the prices are coming down now. Now you don't have competition in the best neighborhood in Walnut Creek that you can actually have a chance of getting yourself into, or Danville, or wherever, right? But it's going to take a little bit of risk and a little bit of chance. Chances make champions, right? So you have to be able to, if you were in the last market talking about when's price is going to go down, here
they are.
it is. What are you going to do?
That's so true.
You know what I mean? And what kind of brings me back up, something like the vibe that I get from you, this is our first time really sitting down, but like just hearing you talk is like, it almost seems like you're not scared to take a risk. You know, like you never once said that, you know, during this journey, you never once said that, like, oh, when I was opening this, I stayed up all night and I was my sticks in my stomach, or like I was scared to do this, or I was scared that you just like, I had this idea and I just did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that makes the difference between a lot of people, is that sometimes people hit a little bit of fear or rejection or obstacles, and they just say, you know what, I'm good with comfortability where I'm at. And some people get hit with it and like, no, like,
well, it's like you when you go into the game, right, or you sign up to play and you get in the game, you can either win or lose, right? Yeah. If you're sitting on the sidelines, you don't ever have an opportunity to win.
You're just watching.
You're just watching. You eat popcorn. So you'll never be, you'll never be a champion. You'll never win, you know? Yeah. So knowing, just having that like blind, like thought process of like, I'm going to go to win, and I'm going to go to succeed, whether it's buying a home or starting a business or doing anything. It's like, it's huge. Like, have a little optimism and positivity in your thought process and faith, because without that, you don't play and you can never win.
You won't even compete to win. Yeah.
Never.
It's funny. First of all, you guys are spitting fire when it comes to real estate. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh shit, let me write this down. But I'm like, wait, they gonna record this? So this is free game. This is some fire free game. So thank you guys for doing that. That's like dope. Like, little things like this really impact somebody's life on a big level or small level. So first that, second, to address the fear thing. At no point was I ever comfortable in anything I ever did. Everything I did was like fucking terrifying. I was like, the fear was always there. But what I always did was I made it in my head. It was like a bad guy trying to get out of a dumpster, and I'm just trying to hold him in there. You know, I'm like, don't let fear out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was always a battle. Like, every day I was like, listen, you don't have X, Y, Z, but you have A, B, and C. You know, like, it'll get you through the day. Like, fight through it. And while these fires are in my head, like, there was one time some guy passed out getting a haircut, and he had no heartbeat. I was like, oh my God, he's dead. So we call the cops, and an ambulance on the way, and out of nowhere, within like 45 seconds, he kind of wakes up and breathes. And I was like, what the fuck? And apparently he was like on lean, and then smoked weed, and then walked in, and then he got his haircut and fell asleep, but like his heart wasn't beating. I was like, what the fuck? To go through all that shit, call cops, bring this guy back to life, and then step back into a classroom and teach a class. Like, Jesus. I had to pretend like all my students were looking at me, they're like, damn, someone died in your school. I was like, all right, let's go back to class, guys. You know, like you
Yeah.
have to act like everything is cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whether there's a fire in here or not, if you're a leader, you have to project the right image to like your peers, your resources for them to react to the situation. Like my baby, like, right? My baby, if she falls, she looks at me first. She's like, should I cry? And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're so funny.
Yeah, she's like, I'm okay.
So I'm going to my teachers, I'm like, hey, you're so funny. I'm just kidding. No, but like you have to like project like a certain like mindset or like, I don't know. It just like you remove like that hectic feature in other people's day-to-days if you kind of move with that aura that like fear isn't really your driving force. It's more
Right.
so something that's in the back. Like
Yeah.
you just put it away for now, but like you're focused on all the good. Like I'm always a glass half full kind of guy. So
Yeah.
that fear was just like a really small hurdle to get to like what I really wanted. Right.
Right.
You know?
Do you like hype yourself? Like, is there any tricks or like, I know you mentioned the trash can, the guy in the trash can, like, is there anything else that you use to like kind of like make sure that lid stays closed on the trash can? Do you like every once in a while when you like get a little
for sure.
anxiety and it's
Yeah.
like, let's go.
100%, bro. Like that's when I was talking about mental state, that it's really important. And I'm glad you asked that. Like what I would do is I would try my hardest to put myself around people that were uplifting, that weren't bringing garbage to my doorstep. Like our minds are so valuable. If you clutter it like all day today, where I was getting my hair cut, everybody in the barbershop, and I love it because it's barbershop talk, but like everybody was talking about Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, we've been on this for 2 hours, bro.
That's cool.
Like, damn, you know. But like, obviously, that was a big deal in sports.
Yeah,
So like,
right,
obviously, that conversation needed to be had. But in my head, I was sitting there, I was like, on a normal day though, like, this can get tiring. You know,
Yeah.
like this could be really frustrating. Just because like you want to talk about dope shit. People are making fun of the Raiders. I'm like, bro, this don't got nothing to do with the
Yeah,
Raiders. Like,
right.
be positive for one. You know, like, why are you talking shit about? They're talking about the receiver. I forget his
Yeah.
name, but the new one they got, I forget.
Devontae Adams.
Adams. There you go. But yeah, just be around people that are like uplifting, positive, and that aren't really like bringing trouble to your doorstep. Like there's certain people that walk in a room and they just bring in hella baggage from minute one. Like they throw it on the table. You're like, damn, I'm not in the mental space for
Right,
this. Like
yeah.
you gotta prepare me if you come into me to be a therapist to you. You know.
Right.
So be around the right people, and if people come at you with all this garbage, just put a blinder on.
Right.
Keep your focus and just like kind of nod your head at them and be like, I'm hearing you.
Right.
You know, but don't internalize that shit because we as humans, we do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we really care about helping people for the most part. So like if that comes to your doorstep, you're going to want to take care of it, but not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You know
All
what
the
I mean?
time,
Like, miss
right.
me with that when I'm
Yeah.
working. If you want to talk to me about some shit, let's
Yeah.
go. You know, I'll meet you at the bar. Or,
Yeah.
you know, we'll go do something, you know?
Well, that's like being a business owner or, you know, being leaders, how we all are is if there's people under you, right, that are working for you or working with you, and you're somebody that oversees those people or, you know, is the owner of the business, when something happens, turmoil happens, right, they're going to feel whatever you project,
Yeah.
right? If the situation, you know, say the company's tanking, and right,
Yeah.
but in order to get out of that space, everybody is going to feel what, let's say, the CEO feels, right?
What's
so
the
if the CEO starts freaking out and starts yelling, everybody's going
Yeah.
to clinch up and be
You
like,
see the episode of Office where the fire was happening?
yeah.
Everyone's like,
Ah,
freaking out.
right. But if that
Stand
person
me in a
stays
hard
calm and switches it and like plays it smooth, even though something's going on, you know, keeps an even keel, and the rest of the people are going to start to maneuver
Subdues them,
correctly
yeah.
and make this maybe potential bad time pass and get through it, right?
Yeah.
The
Well,
whole-
perception is reality too, right? So
Yeah. That's so true. That's a good analogy.
that's I mean, whatever your team perceives.
Yep.
Perceives. Yeah. Is reality. So you know, sometimes you got to be those guys on the Titanic plane while the boat's
You're
going down.
right?
Just
Hey,
playing.
it's gonna happen. It's just
Yo, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, those guys are crazy. Those guys are
I
crazy.
throw on a wig and I'd be lying waiting to get on the boat. Hide my beard.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So you're up here for family or?
Yeah,
or-
I'm here for a wedding.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
we're
They're here
dipping out
strictly for the
early next week.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm here for this, baby. Honestly, I've been looking forward to this.
That's
Like,
what's
I was
up.
like,
Have you done a
I'm ready.
podcast before?
I actually had my own. It's
Okay.
still up and running. My partner, he kind of took it over. It was in New York. We only did like 15 episodes.
Okay.
We didn't really promote it. It was just for us to
Yeah.
do. We were just talking
Yeah.
about like Knicks, like the New York Knicks. I'm a
Right.
big Knicks,
Knicks
fan.
fan, right?
Knicks and Warriors. That's all we talked about. But he still runs it. Shout out to the Replacements if you guys ever catch it. It is on all the streaming sites.
check
but,
it out.
Yeah, I love podcasts. I love talking to people. It's something that like comes naturally to people like us. If you're outgoing,
Right.
it's good. And if you could put like some substance to it, there's so much value you can bring to people.
Definitely.
So like, that's why I love the value of what your show is bringing to the table. So like,
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
shout out to you guys for that. Yeah.
Is there anything that you want us to promote, or you want to promote, or shout outs, or anything like that?
Only because the celebrities keep saying it. I'm not a proponent of politics, but go vote.
Yeah,
Everybody, go
that's
vote.
facts,
Go
yeah.
vote.
There you go.
I'm not saying who for, but go. Everyone's complaining on the internet, so if you're complaining,
Not only just
go figure out
vote.
Yeah, go do-
I
yeah,
actually
go be a
appreciate
part of
that.
it.
Not only just vote, but like learn
what the fuck
what
is
is
going
going
on.
on.
Well, learn
Especially
what
if,
is
if you're going to be talking about it and you're going to be complaining about it, go do something about it.
learn
Find out
what's
why.
going on.
Yeah, or
Learn
just shut up.
I'm not saying either side's right or wrong. Just
Right.
go do your part. You
Yeah.
know, and figure it out.
My
Yeah.
sister had told me that there was something that she wanted to go to where it's like a young professionals thing where they go through the ballot and like go through like some of the stuff that's going on and like explain it. And I wish I knew what it like the name of. She lives in LA too, but I wish I knew the name of it so I can promote it. I'm gonna find out from her so I can promote that because I
That's
think it's
dope,
really
actually,
important. It's not just important just to read like what the taxes like this tax is for helping schools, but like you got to see what's underneath.
Where's the money coming from? Where's
I
the
want to
growth?
know who keeps voting for the toll to go up.
Yo, it's bad now.
Who
It's
votes?
bad.
Who votes for
I
that?
think taxpayers.
Who votes for that?
No, it might be the board or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, they're
Like who
fucking us
votes
over.
for that? Because I don't. Like that's hidden somewhere. In
Everybody
fine
go
print.
vote for free toll, all right? Come on.
Like that's voted.
Yo,
Yo,
there
in
you-
fine print.
No, bro, y'all don't. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the toll to SF back in the day, if you exited right before and you got into that little like
The bus
police
lane?
station or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
not
yeah.
even the bus lane, but you exit at the bus station.
Yeah.
Yeah. You exit into that little police station. You kind of go through the parking lot and you make a right and you get back on the freeway after the toll.
That's the hack.
I did that for years. Damn.
Yeah.
That's
That's
not
the hack.
on.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well,
man.
dope. Yeah.
I think this was just a fire podcast all around,
love
man.
it, yeah.
I know you got some family things to do. So do you.
We
so
better
do
go
I.
hoop, bro. What you
Wait,
talking
wait,
about?
wait. Hey, lace up, pull up, gym,
Yeah.
3:30. We're running them.
Rise your gym if you guys want to do.
So Abdullah, man, Abdullah Hasani, a freaking legend, man. Like I said in the beginning, we appreciate you. You're a brother. You're always welcome on this
Thank you,
podcast.
guys. I
So
really appreciate you guys.
Yes,
good
sir.
man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Together
look
we
forward to
rise,
see,
baby.
what you do next.
Thank you. Appreciate
Same.
it. Hell yeah.